Yeah, I think, it was a good first day, a lot of juice and a lot of energy, and guys running around. Today was better. Day 2 was better, and that was our goal, to be better than yesterday, just in alignment and assignment and getting set. And really, honestly, maybe the pace of the practice, I think, got them a little bit yesterday, but I thought we were a lot better today.
And you talked about how your players have been really good, like with you in terms of all the conversations since the middle of March to now, but I want to get a little more in depth with that because what have the conversations been like with your team when it comes to off-field decision-making to help prevent bad decisions that could maybe lead to an outbreak among players and staff?
Yeah, I think, John, it's the education piece is very important. From Dr. Phi to Grant to Drew, all of our medical staff and our education for all of us. Our education as coaches, but more than anything, as coaches, we have to display it. We have to be the example in terms of wearing our masks. I don't have one on right now as we speak because these guys are plenty distanced in here, but out at practice, the shield or the mask all day during the office, all meetings, just keeping each one of us to do everything we can within the building, sanitizing our hands, distancing in the meetings, wearing masks everywhere, distancing in the locker room, all the things. We've split the locker room, the things that we're doing, eating, splitting times, tripling times, if you would. I think it's just that, and it's continuing to educate. Each one of us holding each other accountable. I think we're all, what I've liked to said is we're all responsible for each other's health, our health. John, at some point, and we've been really good lately, but somebody's probably going to test positive again, and then we'll quarantine and we'll do it all the right way. I think the whole quarantine process that we had back in June that we had to start, I think was very efficient. And our medical staff and nutrition staff did a great job. And I think the conversations are just being clear with our players, transparent with our players, and encouraging them to hold each other accountable, and us being the examples as coaches. And so we want them to report everything. We want them to talk to us. I've asked them, again yesterday after practice, hey, if we can do something better, let us know. If we can do something different, let us know. Let's have clear communication. And it's been good. Our players have been good.
Go to Jared Johnson. As a reminder, you can use the raise your hand function using the more button at the very bottom.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Jared, how are you?
All right. Hey, I wanted to ask you about the offensive line, the competition up front there. Of course, replacing, 3 starters, 3 longtime starters. Just who's in the mix there?
Yeah. Well, let's talk just about the guys you got coming back. Weston Wright, Dawson Deaton, Jack Anderson in the middle. Those 3 are really good players, I think, in this league, in our league. Will Farrar is a guard and a center. That's another inside guy. Will's gotten better. He's gotten bigger. The guys outside at tackle, from Landon Peterson to Zach Adams to Casey Verholst, Josh Berger, Caleb Rogers, true freshman, kind of surprising a little bit after a couple days. All those guys right in there. Ethan Card is a guy that, really a true sophomore if he plays this year from junior college. Ethan's played guard and tackle. And I've said this to you guys, Coach Farmer does a really good job of cross-training guys. Jack Anderson cross-trains between guard and center. Will Farrar cross-trains both. Clayton Franks cross-trains. All those tackles play guard, even some of the true freshmen. So I think all those guys are in the mix. We've been in helmets for 2 days, Jared, I know, but the evaluation is more first step, second step, where's my eyes, what's my communication, which is extremely important from an offensive line. There just hasn't been any physical evaluation so far.
All right, we'll go to Don Williams, who looks like he has video rolling today.
Well, move it. Let me see it. John, don't hurt yourself laughing. Good gosh. Scroll it over, Dowdy.
I got it. Yeah, I figured it out.
Don, we're playing the Masters. It's the PGA weekend. This you're I'm just kidding. I just wanted you to know I could see you.
You're talking about my shirt?
Yes, sir.
Touching on something that you or following up on something you mentioned a couple times earlier, the splitting the locker rooms. So you guys are using what, the locker rooms in the FTF and the home locker room in the stadium,
Yes, sir.
visiting locker room in the stadium, or just those two?
Just the home and the FTF.
Okay, and so y'all are using those, both of them now then, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Curious what extent you're monitoring what's coming out of the other conferences, like the Big Ten not starting, not padding up, not saying they're gonna pad it up yet, and,
Right.
MAC,
Yeah.
Jackson fall football.
Yeah.
And I guess, how much concerned are you that you're gonna get to play this year?
Don, I think everybody in the country is concerned. Coaches, players, sports writers, parents, boosters, everybody. We're all concerned. We're all wondering. I think it's to say that no one's concerned, or I think is basically to have your head in the sand. To answer your question directly, to monitor it, just minimal so far, because I got off the field this morning to walk through, saw some of it, and then we went onto the field for practice, Don. So, I'm aware of it, and I think monitoring the Big 12 and see what comes down in the direction that we get from our ADs, our presidents, our medical staff, commissioner, where I think every head coach is monitoring everything right now.
And assuming that you do get to play, what gives you optimism about this team this season?
Well, I know we're better. We have better competitive depth. I think we look better, to be honest with you. We've gotten a lot of the returning guys have, just like I've mentioned before, did a great job during quarantine. First of all, in the off season, I thought January and February was really good. But our lines look bigger. We've got more competitive depth at DB. We've got more depth at O-line, and I mean competitive depth, guys in the mix, running back, receiver. All 4 freshman receivers have, in 2 days, have not disappointed one bit. They've put themselves in that conversation, all 4 receivers, 3 outside, 1 inside. John Holcomb, the freshman tight end, Taj Brooks, the freshman running back. Those guys are really good players, and I'm excited about them. It's only day 2, but that's the kind of things that, that make me excited to be able to coach this team if we're given the opportunity.
All right, we'll go to Carlos Silva.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Hi, Carlos. I can.
Cool. Well, I guess just to kind of play off some of Don's questions, for you, I know that it's only day 2, everyone kind of knows that, but when do you kind of know when to ramp things up for some of these guys that have been off for so long, or did they kind of come in to where you all feel like they're in somewhat of a football shape to where you can kind of push them a little bit at some point?
Yeah, Carlos, I think we came in pretty good shape. I think we're going to play ourselves into a little bit better shape, maybe different than maybe last year, just because of the amount of summer that was more limited. I think this year, obvious reasons, right? But I think we're in pretty good shape. We've cut practices back. I have. But we're spreading out the reps, using both fields. Everybody's getting a lot of team reps and 7-on-7 reps right now, but I've cut the length of practice down as compared to last year, and we're going to play ourselves into a little bit better shape. But I'm not concerned about where we'll be.
We'll go to Ronald Clark.
Coach, with obviously the breakup of spring camp and then, sort of that long layover, and then you guys get in for the voluntary workouts and now finally back to camp, what's kind of the morale of the team? Are they still, a bit antsy, or are they just, sort of happy with that sort of sense of normalcy back with you guys back out on camp?
Well, Ronald, with all due respect, I don't think anything's normal this year. Right now, not this Zoom call, not get, Dowdy says you ready to go. And I'm like, where are they at? Oh, yeah, they're not here. I was going to the indoor to see all you guys, and you're not here. So I think our players, they enjoy football. They like football. We're becoming better football junkies. So, yes, it's a sense of being more normal, but splash guards, masks, coaches with shields, Zooms, yeah, nothing's real normal, though, right now.
Go to Ryan King.
Hey, Coach. I was
Hi, Ryan.
actually curious about when you were talking about the depth and everything. We're talking to Sir Roderick, and when with some of the running backs and the guys who ran the ball for you at different positions last year not being here, while you brought in some guys from the outside, it seems like the main one that was here in that position last year was Sir Roderick. How much, not pressure, but how much of the load will be on him to be the guy and really be able to carry that rushing for you guys game in and game out?
Well, if we started today, he'd take the first snap and he'd take the lion's share reps. But that's Sarajic's job over the month of August to, he wants the share of the carries, then he'll earn it. And that'll be over length of time and his ability to earn it. I think there's more competitive depth in that room this year. But, everybody looks good running around in helmets right now. They all do. Running backs, their real game starts once we get to full pads and the carries. And then once, you start getting a little sore and who can continue to produce and be real good in pass protection with the ball in their hands in the passing game.
And to go off that a little bit, Sir Roderick had some catches. He had like 150 or so receiving yards last year. Do you expect him to be even more of an all-purpose back for you guys having another year in the system if he does get, a bulk of the action?
Yeah, the expectation is for him to be an all-around back in terms of pass protection and as a receiving running back. He's got good hands. He certainly has that ability, but the more he proves it over time, I think he'll become a better all-around back.
Go back to Jarrett Johnson.
Hey, Coach, with Xavier's leave of absence, who's in the mix there? All that Raider. You name some of the guys?
Yeah, similar to the O-line, Jarrett, a lot of those guys are getting cross-trained. You've got Kosai Eldridge. You've got really Brandon Randall, who's running with the ones. Kosai as well. Those are kind of probably your main two right there. But, Coach Cosgrove puts other guys in that spot. And, when you play a spread offense like ours is and, our tight end's not always in line, he's flexed out a decent amount. A lot of times those linebackers are balanced up. So early on in training camp, with the odd stack defense and those guys, whether the Raiders off or he's on, depending on what Keith calls, sometimes they all kind of look the same a little bit in terms of their depth and their alignment.
And to follow up on that, Randall, he was non-contact before spring was canceled. But where is he at now, health-wise?
Good, clear, full. Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Carlos Silva and then Don Williams to wrap it up.
Coach, I know you talked a little bit about pads, but when are y'all looking to go full pad, and what are you looking to learn from some of those guys when they do that? Because obviously, like you said, the physicality is something, but what are some other things you take away from when you do get into full pads?
You take away how much they know and how much they're thinking and are they reacting. Because with the pads come the physicality. It also, I think, exposes how much they know or how much they don't know, because now you've got technique involved, right? You've got the physicality involved. And, right now with helmets in terms of the O-line, the D-line, they kind of just got to think what to do, and then they take one step and then the whistle blows and it's pretty quick and that kind of stuff. But I think you get a better gauge on how much those kids know.
We'll go to Don to wrap things up today.
So, Matt, you went 4 for 4 on grad transfers last year in terms of those guys being contributors with Turner and Shine and Rambo and Zach McPherson. What do you think is the most important thing to assimilate guys like that quickly to where they can give you their best effort and be starters or top backups? Yeah,
good question, Don. I think the first thing is, it's the you're recruiting those guys out of need. You're recruiting those guys out of, I need a guy to come in and be an impact player pretty quickly and impact a certain position. Don, I think the second thing that you can do that helps those guys more than anything is leave them alone at one position, not try to cross-train them. I think when you try to cross-train grad transfers that come in late, I think it's tougher on them. Instead of putting them at one spot, leaving them there, letting them make mistakes and continue to learn. So like, for instance, Eric Monroe initially right now is going to be at the boundary safety or the bandit safety spot. You know, the tackle is going to stay, why can't I think, Josh Berger at left tackle. He's going to stay there right now. You know, he could move to right, but we're going to try to keep him at left just so he can see things, and he's always working with the tight end to his left or not. Got an open end to his left, but he always has a guard to his right. I know that just sounds really simple. Obviously, Chidarius is going to stay at running back. Randall, not moving him to Mike, not moving him to Will, but leaving him at the Raider backer. I think that's the key. Leave him alone. Let him stay still. Let him stay in the same spot. Live and learn a little bit.
Where's or who are you looking at Jordan Brooks' spot? Is Rashawn Merriweather going with the ones immediately, or who?
Well, he kind of earned that right in 4 days in the spring, and so he started out with the ones this summer, yes.
Who else are you looking at Spur? I know way back early, DeMarcus Fields was kind of projected there.
Yeah.
What guys are?
Yeah, there's been a few, Don. That's a key position for us in training camp, and you know, hopefully we have that solidified after the second scrimmage. We're going to need to look at a few, not just DeMarcus. Make sure we're putting DeMarcus in the right spot. Cam Watts, who's a new junior college kid that's a sophomore, true sophomore. You may even see Zach McPherson there. You know, Zach's a veteran now, or second year in this defense. Those are the guys that I want to be able to try to cross-train a little bit more. Jamarcus Ingram, who's been in this defense, you know, really for 5 years, to be honest with you. But trying to keep Cam White at the boundary safety. You know, Cam Watts is playing spur. Leave them alone, the new guys. Eric Monroe, leave him alone at the band at the boundary safety. But you could have a few different guys at spur. I don't know. I don't know that right now, and that's okay to not know that day two. We don't have that solidified yet.
Yeah, you know, it's a little different using the face guards or the gaiters, all the face masks, but, you know, it's just something, you know, you got to adapt and overcome. We're just thankful to be able to practice and be able to play football, and, you know, something like that, it seems like kind of a big deal, but once you're going, it kind of seems to fade away, and you're just able to play ball, and you don't think about it so much while you're going.
And I know some of the high school kids had some unique ways to work out. Did you have to do the same type of thing during this off season and all that? And I guess what were some of the more unique things that you had to do to kind of keep yourself in shape?
Right, yeah, definitely was sneaking into some gyms here in Lubbock or back home wherever I could. You know, hopefully I can't, you know, get in trouble for it now. But yeah, just looking for a workout anywhere I can, and I think it really gave opportunity for the guys who want to go to the next level. You know, time management and really understanding, you know, all this free time, how to control that, and really how to build your day and get in those routines and your habits. But yeah, finding a place to work out was pretty difficult, but you know, we were able to get through it, and now we're back to work, so it's all good.
Go to John Sokoloff.
How's it going, Eli?
Doing well.
Just want to see, what are y'all trying to like build on defensive line-wise this year? Obviously losing Broderick, obviously a big piece for that defensive line, losing him. How do you guys kind of fill that void, and what are you guys looking to build on?
Right. Anytime you lose a player of Broderick Washington's caliber, it's going to be a huge loss for not only your defense but your team, from performance-wise and from leadership-wise. You know, it's a greater emphasis on pass rushing, I'd have to say, and you know, it's just we need to get to the quarterback more. We need more production on the D-line as a whole and as a unit. And we'd really like to get more sacks, not so much off blitzes, but just wins from the D linemen. And I think that's been our greater emphasis. But you lose a guy like Broderick, who's so great in the run. Obviously, we need to pick up slack for missing his piece, you know, or him missing rather.
All right, we'll go to Carlos Silva again.
Just kind of playing off some of those questions again, I guess. With what you have coming back from the defensive line, obviously you with the experience, I guess who are some other guys that you've seen step in or maybe want to have that, take you to that next level, so to speak? I know it's only 2 days in, but I guess just with off-season work or just who you've talked to, I guess who are some guys that have really kind of impressed you so far?
Right. I mean, honestly, I have to be really impressed with the D line as a whole. With Broderick, leaving, and we really needed some young guys to step up, and I think we've done just that. Really proud of guys like Jalen Hutchins, Tony Bradford, and Nelson Mbanasor, and Nick McCann, and Devin Drew. Really, that's pretty much our whole two deep. And I think those guys, they have the right mentality. They come to work every day, and I think they're going to be a really good replacement for Broderick. I know it's hard to, obviously it's hard to replace a guy like that, but I think we definitely got some guys who are able to step up, and we'll have some production, and we'll have some success in this level and the next.
We'll go to Ryan King.
Hey Eli, I just wanted to ask you people have seen you as a leader on this defense, specifically the D-line for a few years, but like they mentioned, without Broderick, with a lot of those new guys coming in, how much pressure do you put on yourself for this defense, for the D-line, for you to be a dominant player like you have been in years past?
Yeah, obviously, you lose a ton of guys on defense as far as leaders and as far as really high-performing players. But, I mean, it's just coming to work, and the guys make it so easy for me and the other leaders on the team. I mean, we just have so much experience, and, it really isn't even so much as pressure. I mean, you're just able to play ball with your friends and your boys, and, we're just so thankful for this opportunity, especially with everything going on in the world right now. We're just so thankful just to be able to go out and practice, and hopefully we'll be able to play some football this spring. Everything looks like it's going to be that way, and it's just the guys make it easy. So there's really no pressure at all, and we're just thankful to be here.
I know you guys haven't been around a whole lot between the spring, just a couple practices here so far. But going into year two in Coach Patterson's system, you guys got those turnovers, last year. You mentioned at the end of the year, there's a lot that Coach Patterson wanted to see improvement on. In what areas do you see that improvement really taking a step where you guys can be a more dominant defense here in 2020?
Yes, sir. I think we got to eliminate the big plays, just plain and simple. I think our run game was fair last year. Obviously, we need to improve on that, but I think really stopping the big explosive plays downfield as far as the deep passes, and like I said, a lot of that comes with a good pass rush, and be able to pass rush without a blitz and getting to that quarterback without blitzing. So from a D-line standpoint, that's our emphasis. That's something we are really taking to heart. That's something we're really trying to improve on. And as long as we eliminate those big plays, I think we really put ourselves in a lot more advantageous positions in those close games, especially towards the end of the year, like you mentioned.
We'll go to Jarrett Johnson and then Don Williams.
Hey Eli, how you doing?
Doing well, sir. And yourself?
I'm all right. Hey, I got two quick questions for you. One, where are you weight-wise? You mentioned having to sneak into gyms and stuff like that, but where are you weight-wise, and also health-wise? How are you? I know you played a lot of snaps over the years.
Right. Yeah. No. Last year I was pretty banged up. Had a pretty good high ankle sprain. I know the trainers probably won't want me to go in too much on that, but yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with them. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably about 280-ish. With fall camp, that you tend to drop a little bit, due to burning more calories than you're typically used to. But that was something I really wanted to improve on, was my weight. I wanted to be able to move with a heavier weight. And in the off season actually hit 290, and then I was like, you know what, I need to start running a little bit, and then I dropped down to about 280. So here we are after I cut out cheeseburgers, we're 280. So.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to Don Williams to wrap us up for Eli.
Can't hear you, Don.
Somebody muted me.
I muted you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, Dowdy's messing with you.
Yeah. Hey, Eli, what is COVID testing like for those of us who have never been tested?
Well, they shove a Q-tip about 3 inches up your nose and scratch your brain a little bit, and they say, you know what, you got it or you don't. So that's about it. Yeah, it's not real pleasant, but I mean, you see about 180 football players, tears rolling down their eyes. It's pretty funny, I suppose.
How many times have you had it? How many times have you been tested?
Like 3 or 4 times. It's hard to remember, but pretty often, and especially now that we're starting camp, it's all the time. So.
So what is your level of concern about playing during the pandemic? About playing, slamming into each other for 3 hours at a time, and still avoiding the virus?
Yes, sir. Personally, I'm probably a little more insensitive than the next person, but and my concerns aren't so much as far as maybe my health or some of our younger teammates and stuff like that, but really just trying to protect the older generations, and everyone's families and just trying to make sure that if someone does have it, that we're cautious about it, we're taking all the proper precautions, and we're not trying to spread it or put ourselves in a position to spread it. And I really want to take my hat off to the team and our coaching staff, because I know we tested 100% negative, I believe a few days ago or whatever that was. So I think that just says a lot about the precautions that our program is taking, and really just the follow through with our players. So I think that was very impressive, and hopefully teams across the nation will be able to follow up with what we were able to do this past week, and hopefully we can continue that success.
So with a number of high-profile players around the nation saying they're going to opt out here in these last few days, last week or so, has there been any talk about that in you guys' locker room, or you guys feel if there were somebody who was concerned, who had that level of concern and wanted to opt out, do you think guys would feel comfortable going to the coaches and saying, I want to sit out this year?
Well, absolutely. I think we have that great relationship with our coaches and our players. But I really feel like a lot of us, most of us, if not 100% of us, really just want to play football, plain and simple. I mean, obviously, Coach Wells has made it very clear. If you feel uncomfortable, please come talk to me. Don't feel like you can't just have that conversation with me and we can talk about it. And if you feel uncomfortable, then you have to make the best decision for yourself. But I think for the most part, we all just want to play football. We all want to get back to the grind, and really that's about it. We just want to play ball.
It feels good. It doesn't feel like I don't really have to worry about anything, especially now because I'm one of the older guys on the team, or on the offensive side, especially in my position group. So now it's just me trying to get our other players, get them up to speed and just trying to get them to play fast.
What changes did you make this off season, training wise, whatever? Because Matt Wells said he was impressed with you.
I just really try to get my weight up. Try to get to a solid weight of 215, just so I can take more blows and whatnot. And then I try to get faster, because if you ain't getting better, you're getting worse. You know what I'm saying?
Go to Ryan King.
Hey, Sir Roderick, was curious when I was talking to Coach, and obviously you mentioned you're one of the main guys coming back, the main guy, and you had some catches last year, about 150 yards or so, but how much are you trying to become an even more all-around back and just be, the pass protector, catching balls, running all three downs? What do you think you need to work on to become that all-around guy?
Well, I just think ooh, let me slow down, my fault. I just think I just need to start, listening to my coaches more, try to get the game to slow down, because I don't know, that's the number one goal is to be the every down back, to be the all around guy. So just listen to what they telling me and just do it the first time, do it right.
And what was working for you last year whenever there was a certain point in the season where it seemed like you were just catching fire, and each game you were, getting more touches, being more productive? What for you, was it the game slowing down, or what was it that just started working for you even more?
Really, I just started getting out of my own head, just getting out of my own way. Just started letting my instincts take over, because, like you said, the game really did slow down for me, and it just felt good, felt comfortable.
Go to Carlos Silva.
Hey, Sir Roderick, I've got a couple questions for you. First one, the running back room obviously a little bit different. One notable one was Xavier White going to running back. I guess what are you expecting from him, and I guess what was that conversation like when he was asked to do that, if you were there, and I guess how have you kind of seen him kind of get into that mode of being a running back after being a wide receiver for so long?
Well, what's expected from him is the same thing that was always expected from him, just to go out there and make some plays, because we already know how good X White is. So we just want him to be comfortable and just go out there and do it and do what he does best. And then really I wasn't there for that conversation, but I'm pretty sure he was heads up for it. He was just perfect with it, because our big thing is we're just trying to get everybody on the field, trying to get our best players on the field. And so if I need a break or something like that, then he come in and it's not gonna be we're not gonna lose a step at all. 'Cause I think he's just as good, if not better than me.
I asked this one, this is the last one from me, but I asked Eli, I guess, what were some of the unique ways he had to work out to kind of keep himself in shape throughout the preseason? I guess, what were some unique ways you had to kind of work out or find ways to either lift a rock or something to kind of keep yourself in shape?
Really, the big thing for me was just making sure I'm running, making sure my legs are good, and things like that. So well, it's easy for me was that I can just find any open field and just hit a couple gassers or something like that, or I can just run around campus and just do things like that.
Go to Billy Watson and then Don Williams to wrap us up with Sir Roderick.
Hey, Sir Roderick, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
A question on Darius Townsend. What's it like having a guy coming in like him? He's rated well out of high school, coming from Alabama, and now he's in the room with you. What's it like having a back like him in the running back room with you guys?
It's great. You know, he's a great guy. He's always laughing and joking and stuff like that, so he keeps us on our toes. It's just it's great to have another guy like that in there, just another guy that's trying to make plays and do the right thing.